My screen visible?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Database क्यों नहीं चल रहा? ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लम्बयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं परमानन्दमाधवं नमामि श्रीपादाय कृष्णं श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात् देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री श्रीवास गौर भक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे verse number 19. I don't know, today there is some issue with my network. Can you share the screen and share the book?
I'll just share, Prabhu. Please give me 2 minutes. I'll share in 2 minutes.
Can somebody else do that?
Yes, I'll
Yes, I
share.
will stop sharing because
yes.
I'm not able to connect.
Okay, Prabhu. I'll share in 2
Yes.
minutes. Just...
Okay. Start reading. I have this Transcend app, but they are not allowing screen sharing also. There is a very big problem. Verse number 19 we are supposed to take, na? Chalavanti Gayanti Grananti Abhikshanti.
Yes.
Okay, you share. Meanwhile, someone can read the words. Someone wants to okay. Kriti. Hare Krishna. Would like to read this verse?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, 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 yes. Please, please.
Shloka 19. Shrudanti gayanti grunanti abhikshanashah smaranti nadanti tavehita jana tayeva pashyanti achirena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambujam.
Nice. Oh Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of our. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant, and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth and death. See, it's not just about we ourselves doing, hearing, chanting, and repeating the Krishna Katha, but one very critical line which is said in that translation is, but we should also take joy in others doing so. In taking joy in others doing so presents two things. There are two meanings in this. When we take joy in others doing it, that means we take joy in preaching. Secondly, when we take joy in others doing so, means that means we are egoless. We are devoid of envy. that when someone else does the kirtan, someone else does the katha, even though he might be younger to us, even though he might be many neophyte in that context, he might be very newly joined, but still we are. See, once we had gone to Mayapur. I don't know how many of you. In Mayapur, after morning program, in the temple hall itself, there is a class which takes place immediately after the morning program, after the chanting session is over. And then I've seen many Prabhupada disciples, senior Prabhupada disciples. In fact, senior disciples like Janinios Guru, Pankajangri Guru, they also sit in the class which are given by many neophytes also many times. So that is, they have reached to that level that when we take joy and take pleasure in others doing so, it's not just about preaching other and making others do it, but also taking joy when we see others younger than us and much more newer than us doing it. So that is because I have seen many times when we see in temple also or in some congregations, if some junior devotee is doing something, then many times many senior devotees don't take much of that serious thing. Okay, uska kirtan, like for example, even you see kirtan mela schedules. I don't know how many of you I have seen that. Like for example, if there is 24-hour kirtan mela, like Mumbai every 3-4 months or 6-7 months, once in a year, they used to have a kirtan mela sessions. In kirtan mela sessions, many big property people used to come, Loknath Maharaj, Vivekanand Maharaj, Madhav Prabhu, Achukoti Mataji, and many other senior kirtaniyas would come. But I think, yes, it is always a good thing to see crowd for senior devotees. Yes, that is like Loknath Maharaj used to not even a single ant could enter in the temple. But when some in afternoon slots, when there used to be very less number of people, for such slot they would keep some jewelry. That is fine. But now, Maya Kadija, Maya Kadija. So, and many times, many duties, even when they were present in the kirtan which are done by junior duty, they would not. Their attitude, ठीक है वो कर रहा है ना, we will not take that seriously. So sometimes we might also think that oh, I have spent 20 years in Bhakti, and I have become a senior devotee. I'm reading Bhagavatam since last 20 years, 15 years, whatever XYZ number of years we have spent. So then we might also get that tendency of not taking pleasure in others doing Bhagavatam. Okay, so that tendency should not creep in. And very clearly, Kunti Maharani is saying in the verse itself that not just they are happy doing themselves, but they are happy seeing others doing. And in Bhakti, you see, what is the definition of senior? Senior, anyone knows? Have you heard this? Very famous. Now, who is the senior in Bhakti? Can someone define who is the senior in Bhakti?
Who practices the bhakti.
Hare Krishna.
Who practices the
Who is the
bhakti.
senior? No.
The
Practices
senior
bhakti,
is
but
one
for
who
a
practices the bhakti seriously.
Yes, but then anyone who has joined just one day ago and is also doing practicing bhakti seriously, you will also call him senior. He's a senior devotee, or you will not call him. What defines seniority of a person? Bhakti. Okay, I will cut it short. Very nice statement, which I think I heard it from Amarendra Pro or Loknath Maharaj. I don't know exactly whom, but very nice. If you have only spent years in bhakti, Venu, यार घेऊन जा रहा तो तिथं काम चालू होतं इथे. हो. रामला घे गं. 2 मिनिट.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We can hear your voice but it's not very clear, Prabhu. Just like breaking in between.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
your voice is-
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, your voice is, we can hear your voice, but we can't hear.
I'm audible, Sandeji?
Yeah, Prabhuji, but it's not very clear. Not very clear. It's like breaking a little bit here and there. So what you ask, can't understand properly, Prabhuji.
Wait a minute. My child was next to me. He was like,
Or
now
maybe
I'm clear.
you are very close to the mic. I don't know.
So now is it clear?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Now it is clear, no? Okay.
Yeah.
So what I asked, what was I explaining? Who is a senior in Bhakti? Senior in Bhakti is not someone who is who only spends years in Bhakti. They are in Bhakti. They are doing chanting. They are attending and everything. They might be physically present in the devotional service for years together, but that is not counted as seniority. One who has seen through his years, he is actually senior. One who sees through his years, he's senior. One who has seen through his years, he is senior. But who has only seen many years, he is not senior. You understood what I said? One who has seen through his years, he is a senior. But one who has seen only years pass by, he is not senior. So we should also understand what category of seniors are we becoming in Bhakti? Are we only passing on the days in temple? We are just coming, we are just hello, hi, tata, bye bye, Hare Krishna, Puja, how are you? And not taking the message seriously. That kind of seniority is useless. Because in Krishna's Golo entry point, for example, one devotee used to say, for example, there are 1,000 devotees lined up. Now you can see millions of devotees lined up. And on the gate, there are like hierarchy mentioned, like roll number 300, 302, 303, 304, 300, whatever line is there. And then many thousands of people are also standing in line to get into the Golo. So just because you are just standing next to the entrance gate and because you joined early in Bhakti, that does not mean that you get the entrance before everyone. No. Krishna can say, oh, roll number 10,569, come. You come to Golo. The person who is just like it is not the railway entry ticket. I am waitlist one, so I should get the RAC first and then my ticket should become confirmed first. No, the entry point does not is not bound by such rules. Goloka entrance point. So Golok is it doesn't mean my roll number is one, so I should get into Golok first. No. Krishna can immediate anytime can call anyone. Just recently someone who has joined just 3-4 months, and then Krishna can call him back to college. He can get the ultimate mercy, and we might be toiling around, and we might be toiling hard day and night, and maybe even many lifetimes more we might think. That is not sure. So therefore, just because we have joined early, just because we have spent more years, does not make us senior. But we should see through our years, then we become actual seniors. Getting into the main point. So the Supreme Personality, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna cannot be seen by our present conditional vision. In order to see him, one has to change his present vision by developing a different condition of life, full of spontaneous love of God. When Sri Krishna was personally present in the face of the globe, not everyone could see him as the Supreme Personality. Materialists like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Jarasandha, and Shishupal were highly qualified personalities by acquisition of material assets, but they were unable to appreciate the presence of the Lord. See, we need a separate transcendental vision. Like for example, for counting everything, there is a different measuring instrument. To measure distance, there is scale. To measure liquid, there is liter, what is called. There is a different instrument for measuring liquids. So we might have heard this in basic Gita course. So similarly, to count even in material aspect, to measure everything or to observe anything or to analyze or to understand everything, there are different tools mentioned. You can't use tools meant for something to something else. You can't use the measuring instrument for liquid for measuring distance. Same way you can't use measuring instruments for volume to something else. So similarly, when we Krishna is on a completely transcendental platform, so we can't use the tools or instruments for which we are using for material analysis and material understanding to understand the spiritual transcendental form of the Lord. So many times, many people say, "Oh, the seeing is believing." I don't believe until unless I don't see through my eyes. It's a very basic atheistic proposition which anytime you go to preach, this is the most basic thing anyone says. Have you seen God? Then why are you preaching about him? है ना? Have you come across some such people? Hare Krishna, am I the only one or So what answer do you give to such people? Haribol? I want this class to be interactive, so if possible, please everyone can connect and speak up whenever they want.
Prabhuji, you don't have to see, you can feel God.
You don't have to see what is your answer?
I said it's not easy to see God, you can feel God. That's what I think.
Yeah. So most basic and logical understanding is Krishna is not
You
something
can see God by
materialistic.
hearing.
First, yes, there are
First is
multiple
hearing.
answers, but yes, please. So Krishna is on a transcendental platform. First, we need to come to that platform, then we will be able to see him. Like you can't measure liquid through scale and you can't measure distance through liquid measuring instrument. So different materials, different tools. So different is for even for material things, we have different tools. So for spiritual things, there will be a different platform to which we need to rise above. And then we will be able to, when we come to that Suddha Sattva platform, crossing Tamogun, Rajogun and Sattvagun also, then when we come to that Shuddha Sattva, then we will be able to directly perceive and see and interact with Krishna. And that is very difficult. And even when Krishna was personally present, even though he was seen by many materialistic people, but they could not realize. So there is no value to seeing Krishna. Because seeing is not of any benefit if we don't know the seriousness or the power or personality traits of Krishna. So whenever we want to see Krishna, we see through our ears and not through our eyes. One time there is a pastime of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj. He was giving class in Vrindavan. Prabhupada was a grahastha at that time. Sri Prabhupada was traveling from Calcutta to something. He on the way he crossed Agra and Mathura. Suddenly, and he came to know that there is a 3-4 days Vrindavan Parikrama going on by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj. And he got down immediately along with his son. And he had, because he was a businessman, he had no time to spend all 7-8 days, whatever amount of days the yatra was. He had only 2-3 days to spend there. And what he did was, he spent every minute of his stay in Vrindavan in listening to his Guru Maharaj. That time he was not initiated actually. That time he was very neophyte and very new. And he was not yet initiated. But his eagerness to hear about Krishna was very high. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj actually observed. One night, what happened? One evening, there was an announcement that there were two groups. The announcement was made that evening, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj will be giving a class. At the same time, anyone who wants to take darshan of some Ananta Shesha deities are there in Vrindavan. So one group was going to visit that. And what happened was, most of the devotees decided to skip Guru Maharaj's class and rather attend and have a darshan of the deity. But Prabhupada, even though he was neophyte, he chose to stay back and listen to his Guru Maharaj speak. And then when many of the senior disciples came back, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj said, how was your eye massage? He did not even consider that act of visiting and going to temple and taking darshan of deity as devotional service. He said it is just nothing more than your eye massage. Taking darshan of deities and not listening about him Krishna through your guru and skipping the class, giving live class given by guru is nothing more than a Thai massage. So he said your darshan is of no use if you are missing your own guru's class. So that is the level of seriousness which Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj had about Krishna Katha than Krishna Darshan. And Prabhupada showed that. And when his initiation name came up, he actually remembered this pastime. He remembered this incident. Who? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj remembered this incident that Abhay Charan was the one who was among the very few people, those who stayed back to listen to his class. And therefore he said, oh, Abhay Charan, his name is there in initiation, I will give him initiation. Why? Because he likes to listen. He likes to hear. That was the most crucial quality which Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj highlighted in Srila Prabhupada, in Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, to whom now we call Srila Prabhupada. But during that time, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj was Srila Prabhupada. And he said, Abhay Charan likes to listen. And that is the biggest quality which his Guru Maharaj liked about it. So therefore, even Ravan saw Ram, but there was no change. So when we see through our eyes, it is useless. They were all highly qualified, but they were unable to appreciate the presence of the Lord. Therefore, even though the Lord may be present before our eyes, it is not possible to see him unless we have the necessary vision. And that vision, Tattva Darshina, those who have seen Tattva, they can only give you that vision. This necessary qualification is developed by the process of devotional service only, beginning with hearing about the Lord from the right source. I don't know how many of you have seen, heard this verse in 9th canto, 7th canto, first verse. So, 7th chapter, first verse, Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? 7th chapter, first verse. That's
Maya
true.
Sakta,
हाँ,
Maya
मैया
Sakta,
सकता
Maya
पार्था
Partha,
युंजन
Yoga,
मदाश्रय
Yoga Myunjan Madasraya,
असंशयम
Asam Saram,
समग्र माम
Sam,
यथा
Yatha,
ज्ञातसि. What
Chakshunu,
is the word? Tat Shrunu.
Chakshunu.
In the purport, Prabhupada highlights that single word, Tat Shrunu, Tat Shrunu, Tat Shrunu. Krishna is saying, listen from me, listen from me. Tat Shrunu, he's not saying Tat, look at me. No, he's saying, listen from me. Tat Shrunu, he's not saying Tat Drashtoa or something. He's not using some other word there. What is he saying? If you want to, how do you define when you know something completely? What are the two things, aspects? When they are fulfilled, then you say that I know full everything about that thing. And what are the two things? Asanchayam samagram. What is asanchayam? When you have no sanchay about that thing, that is asanchaya stage. Asanchayam samagram. Samagram means when you have full knowledge of that thing. So when these two criteria are fulfilled about anything, then you can say that I know completely about that thing. You understood my point? So Krishna is saying, if you want to know about me in these two levels, what is the first level? Asanchayam level. Not means you don't have any doubt about Krishna's superiority. You don't have any doubt about Krishna being the supreme personality of Godhead. You don't have any doubt about Krishna being the ultimate creator or the ultimate supreme personality of Godhead. So that is Asanchayam stage. And second is Samagram. Samagram means Samagram has 7 aspects. What is Samagram? Samagram is complete. Completeness means Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, Avatara, Dham. 7 things. Sorry, 6 things. What is Samagram? Samagram, knowing Samagram about everything means knowing 6 things. When you know name of the person, so you have Vishnu Sahasranam, you have 1000 names of Krishna, multiple, unlimited names of Krishna. So when you know Krishna's names, Nama Rupa, then you know the form of Krishna, Nama Rupa, Guna, then you know the qualities of that person. Oh, he's benevolent, he's all pervasive, he's whatever. There are unlimited qualities. But mostly 64 qualities of Krishna. Nama Rupa Guna Leela, his pastimes. His pastimes as Rama, his pastimes as Narsimha, Varaha, whatever. Nama Rupa Guna, then Leela. Leela is his pastimes. And then his avatar. Avatar means his various incarnations, various forms wherein he is acting. And then his Dham. Where is his Dham? So Krishna is saying, if you want to know me in these two levels, Asanchayam and Samagram, completeness and without any doubt. Then what is the process? Maya asakta mana partha. You become asakta, you become attached to me. Mana partha, you make your mind attached to me, and then yoga yunjan madashrayam. And madashrayam means mad means mind. Mind means Krishna's. Mad ashraya. Ashraya means taking shelter. So engage, attach your mind to me and become devoted to me and surrender to me. And what? By this process, what you do? You do tat shrunu. Tat shrunu means you listen from me and then you will know me completely without any doubt. Okay. So that what is the necessary qualification is developed by the process of devotional service only, and the beginning with the process with hearing about the Lord from the right sources. And Krishna himself is saying it, Tat Shrunu. You understood? Tat Shrunu. This is a very crucial one. Therefore, hearing is very important. Even in ISKCON, Prabhupada has mandatorily made that every morning Bhagavad Gita, and at least take for Grahasthas once in a week or maybe every day 30. Nowadays, there are many gadgets. During Prabhupada's time, see, can you imagine? He had no recordings. He had no access to listen to his guru. Now, with just click of a button, we have got a whole plethora of Prabhupada lectures. Is it not? You just type on YouTube Prabhupada lecture. Before you even finish typing, you get thousands of lectures of Prabhupada. So yes, technology is a curse in many ways, but when it comes to spiritual practice, it is one of the best boons. Now you see in Zoom, we are all able to listen and share and glorify Krishna, even though physically very much separated. So Prabhupada, during Prabhupada's time, he had no access to this what do you call social media and whatnot, technology and so many things. But still, whatever physical amount of time he could spend with his guru, he tried to spend it. Now we have got so much access of Prabhupada lectures, but are we taking them seriously? There is now big, very huge transcend app and whatnot. So many technically devotees are doing. Kindle में books है, Transcend में books है, Vedabas में book है, everywhere it is there. We just have to click and read it. And best is actually physical. Physical also it was very rare. Those times in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, devotees have to write it by themselves, and then they would be able to distribute. Okay. The Bhagavad Gita is one of the popular literatures which are generally heard, chanted, repeated, etc. by the people in general. But in spite of such hearing, sometimes it is experienced that the performer of such devotional service does not see the Lord face to face. The reason is that the first time item Shravana is very important. If hearing is from the right sources, it acts very quickly. One day, I remember in, I don't know how many of you know Bengal, there is, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Bengal, so now there are many Harinam Sankirtan is very common there. Every now and then, whether marriage, whether birth, childbirth, for every ceremony, for every sanskara, they will have a Kirtan Mandali doing Kirtan. And means I have seen, because there are many Bengali villages next to me. So we go to many of their functions, and there are very professional Kirtaniyas. Many Bengalis have their surname as Kirtaniyas. Their name, their surname itself is Kirtaniyas, because they are coming from the lineage of very famous Kirtaniyas during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time. So, but I was speaking to one of those Kirtaniyas. But nowadays, because the parampara is very diluted, and they are just they are doing Kirtan just because of their family lineage is there. There is no Shravan. So many of them, they are chanting and doing Kirtan, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and many times they cry also. I don't know how many of you have seen these Bengali people performing Kirtan, professional Bengali people. I'm not talking of ISKCON traditionally, means ISKCON initiated, but traditionally Bengali people, most of them might be having very nice devotional sentiment. That is a very good thing. But I have seen many of them crying also. And I just asked one of those singers, after some time, one devotee became a devotee. One of such Kirtaniyas actually became a disciple of Jayapatak Maharaj, and he became a genuine devotee. He said, before joining ISKCON, I used to do Kirtan. But now actually, after joining ISKCON, now I actually understood the importance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and importance of this Kirtan. Previously, when I used to sing, many people from various villages used to come to listen to me. But but I will tell you, Prabhuji, he was telling that previous to ISKCON, when I used to sing, and if I'm given a slot of let's say 2 to 3 p.m. and I'm singing, and many people are following me, and many people are sitting next to me and listening to my kirtan, but my only thought while doing kirtan would be when my kirtan will be over at 3 p.m. and I will be able to eat my pan. He was so addicted to pan masala that constantly throughout the day his mouth would be filled with pan masala. So he was saying, Prabhuji, previously before coming to ISKCON, even though I would be doing kirtan, but my consciousness was only about pan masala. When my kirtan will be over, I will be able to eat my beta. So that is what Prabhupada is saying here. Before, even though sometimes it is experienced that the performer of such devotional service does not see the Lord face to face, because the consciousness of Krishna is missing. Therefore, Prabhupada said, our society is becoming conscious of Krishna. When Radhanath Maharaj was asked, define devotional service in one word, not even one line, one word. Huh? What word he might have used? Can someone please answer? Any guesses? If someone asks you, define Krishna consciousness or bhakti in one word. Huh? Am I audible or not? Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhu, audible.
Yes, yes,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
audible.
So I asked something. Can anyone have a wild guess on what Maharaj could have said?
Kirtan.
Huh?
Kirtan maybe.
Okay. He said, okay, nice. Actually, there is also good. But he said one word is absorption. Bhakti is absorption. Whether you are doing kirtan, whether you are doing chanting, whether you are doing deity worship, how much are you absorbed in thoughts of Krishna? Bhakti means absorption. Are you really absorbed in what is going on at that right very moment? Mangalarti is going on. Oh, I need to go to office at 8 p.m. now. I need to boil my breakfast and then I need to catch this train. Now this, I need to do this call. While chanting, the mind is not. So Mara said one word, absorption. Huh? Absorption is bhakti. And then the explanation can be readily. So kirtan chanting, they are acts of bhakti. They are action oriented words. So yes, there is nothing right and wrong answer in this. But this is what Maharaj said, and therefore I keep this. Am I absorbed right now at this very moment when I'm doing whatever devotional act I'm doing? So that is why I did mention that. This. So therefore there are many professional kirtaniyas, but because they are not absorbed in Krishna's thoughts, their kirtan is not having any impact. Huh? Not just there, even in my case also. Maybe how much your classes we might give, how much your kirtan we might do. People are not getting transformed because how much am I myself actually absorbed in whatever I'm speaking? The reason is that the first item, Sravana, is very important. If hearing is from the right source, it acts very quickly. Generally, people hear from unauthorized persons. Such unauthorized persons may be very learned by academic qualifications, but because they do not follow the principles of devotional service, hearing from them becomes a sheer waste of time. So if you want to hear about bhakti, if the person is not authorized, then it is a sheer waste of time. Sometimes the texts are interpreted fashionably to suit their own purpose. Therefore, first one should select a competent and bona fide speaker and then hear from. See, even before Prabhupada, there were around 700 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Can you imagine? Prabhupada, before Prabhupada, now, I think nowadays, there it might have crossed 1,000 also. Because now after social media, Gita has become very famous. Every Tom, Dick and Harry starts writing commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Any foolish person without no devotional background, no spiritual context, no Guru Shishya Parampara, nothing. They just talk, oh, my version of Gita. Thank God that at least they keep the verses intact. But even before Prabhupada, there were around 700 to 800 commentaries on Gita written by politicians, written by socialists, written by philanthropists, written by scientists. Means every walk of life, everyone had commented on Gita, but no one had become Krishna conscious. Can you? There were 700 versions of Gita available. Even that Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi also had written. Our dear MP Gandhi has also written commentary on Gita. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan also written commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Many scientists also wrote commentary on Bhagavad Gita, but no one became devotee. So therefore, this is what थोड़ा भी करता करो. Understood? So one should select a competent and bona fide speaker, which I am not, but still you guys are listening from me, and I make sure that at least we listen from Prabhupada more than me, and then hear from him. When the hearing process is perfect and complete, the other processes become automatically perfect in their own way. Hare Krishna. So there are different transcendental activities of the Lord, and each and every one of them is competent to bestow the desired result, provided the hearing process is perfect. In the Bhagavatam, the activities of the Lord begin from his dealings with the Pandavas. There are many other pastimes of the Lord in connection with his dealings with the Asuras and others. And in the 10th canto, the sublime dealings with his conjugal associates, the gopis as well as with his married wife, Dwarka are mentioned. So there are many pastimes of Lord which we all should listen to. And every one of those pastimes is competent enough to bestow desired result. Since the Lord is absolute, there is no difference in transcendental nature of each and every dealing of the Lord. See, this line is very crucial. Shyam Sundar Krishna and Partha Sarthi Krishna. Shyam Sundar Krishna is who? The Krishna who is playing on his flute and he is in Vrindavan. He is not engaged in politics. He is not engaged in socialism. He is not engaged in giving jnana to Arjuna. He is not busy with many. He is just playful little child. But even that form of Krishna and Partha Sarthi Krishna. Who is Partha Sarthi Krishna? He is doing politics. He is doing all the war and all the stuff. He is giving jnana to Krishna, Arjuna. So both are absolute. Once, I don't know how many of you know the name of Delhi temple. Delhi Iskon temple. Anyone know?
Rukmini Dwarkadish.
No. Actually, Delhi there are 2-3 temples.
Partha Sarthi or what?
Yes,
Prabhuji?
the original one, the first one. The first temple is where east of Kailash. What is the name of that temple is? Radha Partha Sarthi temple. Someone said.
Yeah, yes, Radha.
Ah. So one devotee asked. Actually,
Gopal Krishna. Gopal Krishna is the president there, no? Prabhuji? Gopal Krishna goes there.
What Gopal Krishna
Yes,
Swami?
Gopal Krishna Maharaj is in charge of that.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee did the inauguration of that temple. But that idea of temple was there before only, proper time only, because Delhi was close to Kurukshetra, Prabhupada named it Radha Partha Sarthi. So one devotee asked, Prabhupada, Partha Sarthi means Krishna is in the battlefield in Kurukshetra. So how is that Radharani is with him in that? You understood the question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now, how is Radha Partha Sarthi? So it should be Arjun Partha Sarthi temple, or maybe because the associate of Krishna in that pastime is Arjun actually. There is no Radharani in that pastime throughout. Prabhupada said Radharani is never separated from Krishna. She is there in the chariot when Krishna is there. So all his pastimes are absolute. Whether he is playing flutes and doing Ras Leela or whether he is charioting Arjuna and he is middle of the war, Radharani, his sweet loving pastimes are constantly going on. All his pastimes are what? Absolute. There is no difference in the transcendental nature of each and every dealing of the Lord. That is a very nice learning. So, and one more thing. Something I can actually remember. Anyways, so that is absolute nature of the Lord's pastimes. So whichever sometimes a devotee say, and sometimes someone say, I don't know how we have to know. In Karmi context, whenever some people organize Bhagavad Saptaha, what they do, they make sure that on the third or fourth day, there should be some context of Rasalila should come up. You know this? Professional Bhagavad Kathas when people organize.
Yes, Prabhu.
So there are multiple pastimes in Bhagavatam. There are Vritrasur pastime, there is Maharaj Prutu pastime. But they say, no. At least 2 days you spend on Vasi. So, but when ISKCON devotee goes and does Bhagavad Katha, he speaks about Parikshit Maharaj, the nature of this material world, Janma Mrityu Jara. So that is real Bhagavad. It's not that, oh, I will only listen to the sweet pastimes of Krishna. No. There are multiple pastimes. There are Ram Leela, there is so many things. So basically, every pastime of Krishna is on the transcendental platform. Whether it is Ras Leela or whether it is fighting with demons. Both are absolute. So therefore, even in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, he stayed in Jagannath Puri for 17 years. Every day in the afternoon, he would, I don't know how many of you been to Jagannath Puri? Anyone gone there? So there is a place called Gambira.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Have you been to Gambira? The
Yes,
place where
Prabhu.
God used to stay. And where is
Yes,
Tota
Prabhu.
Gopinath? You know, Tota Gopinath is the temple where Gadadhar Pandit used to stay. Gadadhar Pandit is incarnation of Radharani. So Lord Chaitanya every day used to walk from Gambira to Tota Gopinath to meet Gadadhar Goswami, Gadadhar Pandit. And what both of them used to listen. Can someone tell me? Anyone knows? Hare Krishna. Anyone knows?
Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhu. Srimad
Huh?
Bhagavatam. Srimad
No,
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam, but which pastime from Bhagavatam?
Dhruv Maharaj's
Yes,
past.
Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj.
What is it,
Chaitanya
Prabhu?
Prabhu, even though he was in the most transcendental bhava of what do you call um, uh, madhurya, the ultimate stage of madhurya bhav. What is that? Sarva rasa sar. What is that bhajan? Shri Jaya Vipada Puriya Smare Dina Krishna Dasa Nama Sankirtan Jai Ram Jai. There is one line in this. Parakhiya bhave jaha sarva rasa sar.
Parakhiya Bhava.
I was not remembering. So, the loving conjugal relationship of Krishna in the mood of separation, parakhiya bhava. So that is the highest level of Madhurya Ras, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually in that bhava. But still, even in that stage in his Antil Leela, every day he used to stay and go to Gadadhar Pandit and listen from him which pastor? Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. He did not say, oh, every day let us read the Ras Leela. You understood? So this is what this line is. What Prabhupada is saying here, I actually missed the line. Where is that line? Since the Lord is absolute, आमचं रूमचं काम झालं का बाबर? Anyway, what is that line?
But the
There is no
Parakhiya Bhava.
difference. बोलिए.
No, I said he used to go. You said to remind you, no, where you stopped.
There is some repair work going on. And it is making noise.
About Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to see
Yes.
Gadadhar Pandit.
Gadadhar Pandit, and they used to discuss pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. People would say, oh, in that bhava of Ras, Madhurya Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should have discussed every day Ras Leela. They should have discussed the conjugal loving pastimes of Radharani and Krishna. No, but they were discussing Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. So that is what this line is. There is no difference in the transcendental nature of each and every dealing of the Lord. But sometimes people in an unauthorized hearing process take more interest in hearing about his dealings with the gopis. Such an inclination indicates the lusty feelings of the hearer. So, a bona fide speaker of the dealings of the Lord never indulges in such hearing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally demonstrated this through his own behavior. He did not say, "Oh, let us all discuss only Ras Leela." No, he did not say that. One must hear about the Lord from the very beginning, as in the Srimad Bhagavatam or in any other scripture. And that will help the hearer attain perfection by progressive development. One should not therefore consider that his dealings with the Pandavas are less important than his dealings with the Gopis. You understood what with Krishna as Parthasarathi and Krishna as Gopinath? Both are same. Krishna as Shyam Sundar and Krishna as Ranchod. Both are same. I think there is a lot of noise behind me. So we'll stop here. Anyone has any questions, we can take.
Yes, Prabhuji, one thing was not clear, because you said that in Gambhir, like, he used to go and meet Gadadhar Pandit. Did you mention about Bhava? Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Wait a minute. Now it is clear. Now it is clear. Now,
Okay, Prabhuji.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
sir. Yeah, you said that in Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go and,
yes.
he used to go and meet Gadadhar Pandit.
Gadadhar
And,
Pandit in Tota Gopinath. There is a temple called Tota Gopinath.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he used to go to both the places, right?
No,
Or only
Gambira,
in Tota?
he personally used to stay in Gambira.
Okay, yeah. So he used to meet Gadadhar Pandit, no, at Tota
Yes.
Gopinath. Am I right?
Yes, at Tota Gopinath he
Yeah.
used to meet Gadadhar.
And then did you mention anything about the Palaki Bhava? What is that?
My point was that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit daily used to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. But what both of them were on the highest level of Madhurya Ras. And what is the
Yes.
highest level of Madhurya Ras is Parakya Bhav. Madhurya
Yeah.
Ras, there are two ways. One is love in conjugal relationship and one is love in separation. So when conjugal bhav is the Dwarka queens, because Krishna was there constantly with them. So they are in that bhava of in the loving mood of conjugal relationship. That Krishna is there with them. But gopis are always in the bhava of separation. That Krishna is not there with them. So
Yes.
love in separation is more higher than love in conjugal relation.
Yes,
You understood?
Prabhuji. Yes,
Because
yes.
when that partner is not there, you remember him and you cherish you think about him in more deeper level.
Yes.
So Gaudiya Sampradaya is Parakya Bhav. Parakya Bhav means Krishna is not there. He is Paraka. Paraka means Marathi वो दूर चले गए हैं. In Antalila CC, you see Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated his Parakya Bhav, love in separation in various modes. You understood?
Yes, Prabhuji, I
But
understand.
even though Gadadhar Pandit himself is an incarnation of Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is in the mood of Radharani. But when both of them used to come together to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, they would not discuss Gopi Bhav. You understood?
Yes,
That was
Prabhuji.
my point.
Yes.
They would discuss the pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. That is what Prabhupada is saying. That many people here, what is it? First of all, there is no difference between Krishna's Leela with Dhruv Maharaj and Krishna's Leela with Gopis. Krishna is Parthasarathi and Krishna is Gopinath. Both are same.
Yes.
Krishna is Ranchod and Krishna is Shyam Sundar. Both are same. So there's more importance given. Oh, Krishna is Gopis, like that. I like that fasting. Oh, Krishna is Pandavas. I don't care for it. No, not like that. So Prabhupada is saying, but sometimes people in an unauthorized hearing process take more interest in hearing about his dealing with the gopis. Such an inclination indicates the lusty feeling of the hearer. So a bona fide speaker of the dealings of the Lord never indulges in such hearings. He does not care for such people. One must hear about the Lord from the very beginning. If you want to read Srimad Bhagavatam, if you want to read Ras Leela, complete the first 9 cantos first. Then complete all the chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam before Ras Leela. Then you come to understanding, oh, Krishna is so great. Then you have heard Ram Leela. Then you know Prithu Maharaj. Then you know 7th canto Prahlad Maharaj. 8th canto Bali Maharaj. You read about all the Mahajans. You read about Kunti Maharani, Uttara, Bhishmade, everything will come. And then in the 10th canto, then finally Krishna will come. You understand?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that is the process. or for that matter, any other scripture. Read from the beginning. And that will help the hearer attain perfection by progressive development. So anyone who says, oh, Krishna did Ras Leela,
No audio, Prabhuji. Can anyone hear it?
No, no, Mataji. You're mute.
Hare Krishna, I think I got disconnected. In any ways, I think we are done. Someone please note the line till which I had read. Which is that line? Mataji, can you please scroll up? Bas, we will end this paragraph. Just 2 minutes more. Therefore, one should select a competent bona. No, not that. Scroll up again once more. This one. If here is from the it external people here. No. Again, ऊपर जाइए माताजी. ऊपर जाइए ना. No, not upper in the sense you are doing it in opposite way. Come down. Sorry. Which was that lusty feeling? Yes. One should not therefore consider that his dealings with the Pandavas are less important than his dealings with the gopis. We must always remember that Lord is always transcendental to all mundane attachment. In all the above mentioned dealings of the Lord, he is the hero in all circumstances. And hearing about him or about his devotees or combatants is conducive to spiritual life. And the Puranas, it is here all made to revive our Lord's relation with him. Hearing of all the scriptures is essential. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. I will tell you one pastime of Shivaji Maharaj. We have 2 minutes more. I will tell you one pastime. I don't know how many of you have heard that. Yesterday was Shivaji Maharaj's this birth anniversary.
Yes,
Very
Prabhuji.
nice person. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj once mentioned one very good pastime of Shivaji Maharaj. He said Shivaji Maharaj was a spiritually motivated person. He was not a land thirsty king who was actually conquering only because he wanted more land and more opulence. No, he was fighting for a spiritual cause. And therefore, there is a difference between other kings and he. Prabhupada also used to say he is the last Kshatriya which the world saw. A last genuine actual Kshatriya, Raj Rishi, you can say. Because he was such a prolific person that even saintly people like Sant Ramdas, those who were completely renounced, even they glorified him. Even though he was materially opulent and materially king on that level, actually. But even the saints used to glorify him. So that was his qualification. And there is one pastime, very small and very beautiful pastime, wherein once he saw his guru. He had many spiritual masters. One was Sant Tukaram. He was a pure Vaishnava, and he also gave him blessing. And another one is Ramdas Swami, who was also good Vaishnava. He was a very ardent devotee of Lord Ram. And because of him, in Maharashtra, you find every village will have a Hanuman Mandir in every village in Maharashtra, wherever his influence came up. So he was the proponent of Ram Mandir at the center of a village and Hanuman Mandir at the border of the village. These two things he very properly propagated. And therefore, you see in every Maharashtra village, in the entrance you will see a one Hanuman Mandir, and in the center of that village you will see one Ram Mandir. If the village is a dharmic population is there, so that rule he made sure that two things should be there in every village. So that Ramdas Swami, once he was begging, he was a beggar, he was a mendicant. And then Shivaji Maharaj said, oh, you are my spiritual master. I am the king. Why you need to beg? I am the king. You are my guru. So where is the need for you to beg? So, but Ramdas Swami still continued begging every day, door to door, door to door. So one day what Shivaji Maharaj did, he wrote a note. And then he wrote, my Gurudev, I am yours. And he handed that note to Ramdas Swami and said, now I am your property. So now you don't have to beg. So Ramdas Swami actually took that note and he said, now you have become my property. Now I order you to beg with me. What is he saying? He's saying, because now you have given everything to me. Now you don't own anything. So you are also beggar like me. So you come with me and beg with me. So for one full day, he made him beg. Actually made him beg from his own praja. And Rabindranath Tagore has written a poem on this. Bhaktichar Maharaj has explained this very nicely. There is a very nice Bengali poem. And people were awestruck that his guru and a king, who is disciple, both of them are begging. And that sight was very beautiful. Many people were actually inspired. And then one day, after completely begging, and then finally, at the end of it, both of them came at the end of the river. And what there is one very beautiful line which is there in Bengali, which I can't actually tell. I don't remember. But Ramdas Swami said, what he said, that you gave your kingdom to me, and I gave it to Ram, Bhagwan Ram. Now you rule, and then I am as a representative of Ram. I am giving you that kingdom back to rule only as a representative. And the name of that poem is Pratinidhi, and that you only become the representative of Lord's mercy to rule as a king. So whether you are a king or a mendicant or a swami or anything, you are only nimitta matra mamalam bhava savesasi. Krishna says you are only the instrument in my hands. Instrument is not glorified. The hand which uses those instrument is glorified. Krishna says, but Krishna, you only become the nimitta. Bhava savesasi. You become the nimitta. Oh Arjuna, everyone is anyways going to get killed by me. But you shoot the arrow. I will make sure they hit the right place. So Nimitta Matram. So that learning which Nanda Swami gave him, you are only the instrument in the Lord's hand. And at the same time, there is one Abhanga also written by Shivaji Maharaj. No one knows his spiritual side actually. That is not propagated very much. But it's a very nice Abhanga. It is in Marathi, but I will read. What is he saying? Nashivanta Sukasati Antarla Jagajethi. Nashivanta means something which is flickering, which is going to end. Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, na Adyantavanta konteya na teshu ramate buddha. Adyant adi anta aiva. Material happiness is defined by two things. One has a beginning and the end. That is called material happiness. You eat one rasgulla, the pleasure begins. When you eat 10 regular rasgullas, the pleasure ends. Because you can't eat more. So Adyantavanta konteya. Krishna says, material pleasure has a, so that is called Shivaji Maharaj saying Nashivanta Sukha Sati. So therefore that Sukha is called Nashivanta. Nashivanta Sukha, the Sukha which is going to end. Nashivanta Sukha Sati Antarla Jagajati. Antarla means your distance yourself. Antar means distance. Antarla Jagajati. Jagajati means Jagannath. Jeti means Set. Set yani the owner of this place. Owner of this world. Jagajati. So what is he saying? Jagajeti means the Seth, Jag Sethi. Who is the Jag Seth? Jagannath or Krishna. So he is saying, for this flickering material enjoyment, you are distancing yourself from Krishna. And what are you doing? Nahi nahi yati godi, laksha choranchi chi jodi. And he is saying, there is no sweetness in this. What to speak of sweetness? Because of this material happiness, you will get into the 84 lakh species of life. What is he saying? Nahi nahi yati godi. There is no sweetness in this. And what is there in this? Laksha Chorancity Gati. Gati means the knot. You will be bound by 84 million species. So you are looking for sweetness, but you will be bound by 84 lakh million species. So that is what he's saying. And what is he saying? Manushya Janma Gelya Vare Kaya Karshik Bare. What will you do when your human life is gone? He's actually giving the warning that if you spend your material life, human life only in material happiness, acquiring material happiness and distancing yourself from Krishna, once your human life is lost, what will you do? Shivaraj Sange Jana Myato Sodili Vasana. Therefore, Shivaji Maharaj saying, Shivaraj Sange Jana. Jana means na janam na dhanam na sundarim bolte na. So Jana means people. Lord Shivaji Maharaj is saying, Shivaraj Sange Jana Myato Sodili Vasana. Therefore, Shivaji Maharaj saying, I am telling all my praja, all my people that give up your material desires. Vasana, give up your vasanas. So see, that was the spiritual level of understanding Shivaji Maharaj had. He had his spiritual gurus and he was not only fighting for material acquisitions. I want more, I want more, I want more. Even from materialistic point of view, if you see who was more successful, Yudhishthira Maharaj or Duryodhana. From materialistic point of view, if you calculate success only on the based on material assets, Yudhishthira Maharaj was a failure in his life. Why? Because he was born in forest. 60% of his life he spent in forest. After Lakshagriha, they spent 10-12 years in forest. After Draupadi Vastraharan, they spent 14 years in forest. They were born in forest. So every now and then, every minute, they used to go to forest. But in that context, if you calculate success based on material assets, Duryodhana was more successful. Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to say? So from materialistic aspect, if you try to judge based on how many number of years Duryodhana ruled, how many number of opulences Duryodhana had and enjoyed in his life, Duryodhana was more successful. Throughout his life, he never had to give up his kingdom. Throughout his life, he lived like a prince. Throughout his life, he had all material attachments, fulfilled if there were servants at his beck and call, so fulfilling all his desires. So how do we define success? If material assets define success, then who was more successful? Duryodhana was more successful, or Yudhishthir Maharaj was more successful? With this question, I will end the session, and then next class, all of you can think and give me the answer. Hare Krishna.
Hare
We will end
Krishna,
the session.
Prabhuji. Yeah, that
You understood my question? What I explained?
Yes,
And then,
yes, Prabhuji.
yes. How do we define success? Based on material aspects, material assets, or what is the second principle which defines success? If material assets are the only way of defining success, then who is more successful? Yudhishthira Maharaj was more successful, or Duryodhana is more successful? Hare Krishna. We will end the session here. Thank you all very much for patient listening. Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Pranam.